That's
Hey, Paul,
that's
how
so
are
you
you?
know.
Hello,
Paul
there.
Feig, welcome back.
Jim and Sam, hello.
Good to see you.
How are you?
You know what? I'm always happy when I'm here.
Well,
Yeah,
good.
you always look very well coiffed.
Yes, well, you know.
You know, I saw some pictures of your apartment.
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
the-
I'm in Architecture Digest.
Yeah, and I have to tell you,
Were you shocked?
It looks exhausting. Like it is just so. It's very loud. It's very bright. There, it's a lot of turquoises and pinks.
Yeah,
bright
see that?
pinks.
It's me. Like me. I'm loud and bright.
I guess so.
Yes,
Where is
exactly.
it? It's in New York?
Yeah,
How
it's
big?
right in Midtown. Not big at all. It's only a one bedroom.
Oh.
It's actually quite small. It's a little jewel box, as we say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Who designed it?
Somebody wonderful.
A designer. Okay.
Yes, a designer. Yeah, no, it was one of these places where we were looking for a new place, and I walked in, and I loved everything so much. I said, just walk away. Literally leave everything from the books to the glasses to all the furniture. And
Oh, wow. Just do what you want to do in the apartment. Wow.
yeah, I loved it. It's very garish. There it is.
Oh.
For
It's
those
wild.
those of you listening on the radio, they just
No,
pulled
but it
up a
does
picture.
match. It's very colorful.
Yeah.
We'll tweet out a link to the Architectural Digest because it really was funny when I looked at it and
that's
I was
nice.
like, that is very Paul Feig. Like you must have spent a lot of time like picking out the furniture and blah blah
No.
blah. And then it says like, nope, that was somebody else's stuff.
Somebody's.
And you were like, I need your whole life.
yeah.
How
Well,
much outdoor space do you have? I like a little outdoor space.
That was the big thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's got this big terrace, and we can have like dinner parties out there. And we have.
That's nice.
Jim and Sammy have to come over for a dinner party.
I
We
would
would
be
love to.
delighted, and you don't understand. We'll show up tonight.
I knew it. I knew it.
We're desperate.
Paul invited us on the air. I think
Yeah, he meant it. I have
meant
outdoor
it.
space too. I've had people over once in a year and a half.
That's the thing.
I don't entertain.
Yeah, no, we have like a guest house at our house in L.A. and like we never invite anybody.
yeah, a lot of people who saw your special on Netflix said the same thing about you.
I figured that some insult was coming. I didn't realize it would be that particular.
It's not coming from. I got your back, Jim. I will not.
Thank you.
And you were great, by the way.
Thank you.
I
That's all.
do. Do you have you? Were you glad when Architectural Digest came around? Because it seems like that's the type of a place
Yeah.
that you kind of want the world to know about. Like, look at the character
Yeah.
of the apartment that I have. Right?
Yeah, when we got it, I was like, how do we kind of announce this to the world? And then they came around. But it's really cool. I mean, it is ridiculous, but everything in my life is kind of ridiculous. That's why I like it.
It looks like something that Willy Wonka designed.
Yeah.
It's got those great Gene Wilder colors.
Yeah, no, I really just you know what it is? It's very bright and happy. I'm really affected by light and all that. So like your studio is might be too dark for me.
I see.
Yeah.
What's your
exactly.
favorite place in the house to go?
The bathroom.
Yeah, mine too. I love
There
a
you
good
go.
toilet. Is yours heated?
No, but the floor is heated.
Floor is heated. I have
Wow.
a heated seat. I had the thing that shot the water up, but it's broken. I had to
Bidet?
get someone-
Oh, no.
In the toilet, the
Yeah.
little thing that comes out and that just shoots the water up when you're
But you have
finished.
the Japanese one where you can program all the different things. And
Yeah, but I don't get too involved. Like I just hit the,
He's not involved in his
just take
toilet.
the default settings.
yeah, I hit the button and I just try to position so it doesn't shoot up and hit me in the chin. But yeah, a good warm toilet seat rules.
Oh yeah, no, totally. I get more work done on the toilet.
You do,
I
right?
can't tell you how many things I've created in my life on the toilet. And
Do
a
you
lot of my
have-
haters would agree with that. Probably.
Do you have that's great. Yeah, I'm introducing you. It's an all-female cast for the new Apocalypse Now. Do you have a footstool too? I had a footstool, but
The squatty potty?
Oh, the
Yeah.
squatty. Oh no. Oh no.
those are amazing.
Those are great. Yeah. Well, we have one toilet. This is toilet talk.
Yeah.
with the Jim and
It's
Sam and Paul.
important.
One toilet back in L.A. that's very low, and so that kind of does what a squatty potty would do. But a high toilet is not a good thing.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. It's good. It's bad for you.
How much
Yeah.
time do you spend in the New York apartment?
Probably about 20% of my time. I'm
Okay.
mostly in L.A. just because that's where my company is.
So it's okay if it's a small place because
just come
it's
in.
just
Yeah,
while you're here.
But I'm dying to move here full time.
You like it better here?
Yeah.
Do you
so
feel more
much better.
creative here? The brief times I'm in LA, I'm just a lump. I don't do anything. At least here, I work.
No, it's LA. You're just in your car all the time, so you kind of here you can find creativity because you're just getting all this input and
Yeah.
stimulus. But in LA, it's like, okay, where am I going to go to find something? So I don't know.
Right. You can't just kind of. There's no wandering in LA.
No,
You know,
you get picked up by the cops if you wander around too much.
And what do you? I know you've been asked about Guardians of the Galaxy, and you said you didn't want to infringe on a person's project.
Yeah.
What do you think they do with something like that? Like, how do they fix that? Because now the actors are rebelling. Like,
I don't know. I think they really got themselves into kind of a mess. Yeah, that is James's vision, and he kills it. And whatever you think about what he did in the past, which I don't like those kind of jokes, but no, that's his thing. It's so funny. Like I announced, I don't want to do this, and all these guys wrote, "You better not do it." And it's like I said, I'm not going to do it. No, when somebody's got a vision for something, that overrides everything.
Sure.
And then somebody can come in. Look, he's done too, so he's set the world. But I just think it's a whole aesthetic.
What's the strategy? Say you're a young director, right? Who kind of is like you can't turn down, because there are directors who couldn't turn down that opportunity.
It's a huge, opportunity.
So what is the strategy? Is it to be like, okay, I'm going to try to just stick to James's vision and not upset the way of things? Is it I'm going to move in another direction because there's no avoiding the fact that James isn't here?
Well, you need to be reverent to what came before, but look, you do have to. If you're going to take it, you do have to put your stamp on it.
Yeah.
But he has established such a specific world that it's really hard to stray from that. You can't suddenly come in and just change the whole look and change all the music and all that.
Yeah, and also like the dialogue in it, like the way the characters speak. There's scenes that aren't needed for narrative.
Yeah.
But are needed for character development that like only James would be able to do.
Movie making is such a, it seems like it's a big thing, but you don't realize like how much the director puts the stamp on because we just decide everything basically. Right. And then you have really talented people come in and make it better. But no, it's a very personal thing.
As much as you're known as a director, writer, as a creator. Yeah. I was realizing, we were having a conversation about you in the office the other day, and I realized that you, as an actor, have made you've performed in 2 of my top 5 films.
Really?
That's right.
Oh, which ones?
Can you guess?
That Thing You Do?
That would be one of them.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
Yes.
I hope it's not. I hope Ski Patrol isn't the other one.
No, Ski Patrol is not. Heavyweights is the second one.
Oh, yes. I was honored to be in both of those.
I had forgotten that you were in That Thing You Do, which isn't a slight to you. I mean,
I still haven't seen that. It's Tom Hanks movie, right?
It's amazing.
It's great. It's such a sweet movie. Yeah. No, I play a DJ.
You play a DJ, and that's when it's also like I feel like that was the first time that you were in that context, and I was like, oh, his voice is perfect to play a DJ. Like it would never have occurred to me until I saw.
Oh, thanks. Well, I went for the very hey everybody, here we all the thing. But yeah, I always thought I was going to end up in radio actually because I love radio, and I think had I stayed in Detroit, I probably would have just
What do you love about it? Is it the free form, or do you like the structure of certain types of radio, or do you like more conversational?
I just like the free. No, I like just the conversational, just being able to be on and create a world where you don't have to create the visual for it. It was funny. Like growing up, I listened to CKLW, which was the big AM station in Detroit in Canada, and I just had such an image of what was happening in radio. You would hear the DJ, and so I had an image of what he looked like. I used to think, I was so dumb as a kid, I thought whenever you'd hear a song that the bands were there playing. So I was like, wow, I can't believe the Beatles are playing in our local radio station. But, so you can create so much without visuals. It's funny, now that I do movies, it's all about creating the visual, but there's something nice about going like, let's just kind of theater the mind.
I got in trouble one time when I was a kid. Like I was grounded for something I had done probably in school. So they made me no TV. I only could listen to the radio. So my grandmother turned me on to these radio mystery stories, and I survived on them for a few months, and they were actually pretty good.
They're really fun. I mean, it's fun to listen to some of those old things. And I think back when in Detroit, I was writing like radio plays just because that's the only thing I knew I could actually produce because I had a tape recorder.
It's also so great to do radio like this because it's really the only sort of creative medium where you can just do it and be done. Like it's a 3-hour show. It takes you 3 hours to do. Yeah. And that's it. Here it is. We're going to do it right now. Yeah. And that's that.
But it means so much because you become such friends with, I love all the people I listen to on the radio. Like I feel like Howard Stern is my friend. Right. I feel like you guys are my friend because I hear you all the time, and it's such an intimate thing, especially in L.A. where you're in your car all the time. Right. You're our only friends because we're stuck in traffic all the time. Yeah. So thank you for being our friends.
Well, it's our pleasure. That's what we
don't always get that kind of feedback from fans. That's not always it's not always that positive.
Yeah, I guess not every time.
They do appreciate it, whether they admit it or not.
Sometimes, yeah, but they instead of say thanks for being our friends, they say kill yourselves.
Yeah, I get a lot of those too.
Oh yeah, you've been on the receiving end of some of that shit too.
Oh, they love me. The internet loves me. I look forward to all the great tweets I'm going to get after this appearance.
Do you check it or no?
Yeah, I run through it just because I'm always kind of curious. Sure. Because there's so what I find with social media, there's just so many nice people who contact you that it's worth kind of going like, all right, there's a jerk, and then you go past them. But
and you I guess in the situations that you are in, you develop a skin that's thick enough to handle it, and then the next thing that you do, if it's less than that, It's so easy.
Oh my
right?
God,
Like
totally.
you're like, I've dealt with so much worse. Like this is
Totally.
I can do this.
But I was so unprepared for the first time. And when the Ghostbusters thing happened, I just was not prepared at all.
Were people critical?
Oh. They were lovely. No, because I'd had such a lovely relationship with the internet before that. And then it was so bad that I reacted really poorly. And now I realize, oh, what a dummy. Like I should have just, taken it. But it's so personal. It comes into your phone. It's literally like somebody breaking into your house and like screaming at you.
And right. They're not, people weren't supposed to have that kind of access.
You don't have
to
to go buy a magazine to read it now. It's just oh, notification. You suck. Oh,
right. And it's just that guy with no responsibility to anything. It's just
when I'm in the paradise of sitting on my toilet and somebody yells at you on your phone, it's literally like they broke in.
Now, this is A Simple Favor is in theaters Friday, which you're here to promote.
Yeah.
That's an actual thriller?
Yeah. It's a straight up thriller, but it's fun. I call it a friller, a fun thriller, because it's very Hitchcocky, and not that I'm such a great director. It's just in that world of where, remember his movies were like suspenseful and mystery, but they were also fun, and they had kind of fun side characters, and you would still laugh and be scared at the same time. And so that's what this one has. It's really, but it's a thriller first and foremost, because I love the thriller genre. It's my favorite.
Was it? How did you know it was time to go into thriller mode? Because you made such a career over the last before Bridesmaids, but Bridesmaids hit so huge, and then everything after that has been gravy in terms of comedy, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just really when a project comes in or when an idea strikes. And this was this case. It was a script that came in. We got sent this. My company got sent this because the studio that had it was a book that then they had bought the book and they hired this great writer Jessica Sharzer to do the script for it. And then they sent it to us when they got the script because they said, we don't know what this is. We don't know if this is a comedy, is it a drama? It's bananas. And so they said, maybe you can produce it. So we read it, and I was like, actually, I want to direct this because I saw the potential to make it really fun and just kind of check all the boxes for me.
So how do you make that determination? Because I don't think people really get, who aren't in the business, the difference between director and producer. Like,
totally.
Like if you're a producer, does that mean like, yeah, I'd like to kind of have a little thumbprint on this, but just kind of put things in motion versus director is hands-on?
As a producer, you put it together. So you kind of go like, oh, okay, well, we like this. Here's my thoughts on the script. What director would be good for this? Let's get this guy. Oh, these actors, I think they would be, interesting. But then once you get a director, you're kind of like, okay, let's get their vision, but we'll kind of oversee and just make sure that things are running smoothly. But when you're the director, you do everything. So it's like you're going to do all the casting. I mean, you as a director, you're just in charge of everything that happens on the screen.
But it's the worst though when a producer wants to have more input than they should.
Oh, no.
Which does happen to some guy. Like, I don't know how much control you have. Like, there's certain guys that get their own final cut. Like, or they, like Scorsese, it's probably hard for people to tell anything to.
Right.
But, do you ever have to push back and go like, look, I get it, but that's not a good idea?
I used to have to. I mean, fortunately now, my company, my producing partner, Jesse Henderson, and I, we are producers. So sometimes you get a project that there's another producer already on, but they just come in as partners with us.
Sure.
But yeah, in the old days, it was always a battle with your producers because to me, like you work with great producers. A great producer is awesome. Judd Apatow. When I worked with Judd, he's great because a great producer. What they should do is protect your vision and kind of hold off the studio because the studio is always going to come rushing in with their stuff. But there's other producers who just like you say, they want to get their hands on it. And as a filmmaker, you're just trying to. All I want to do is get the approval of the studio. And a lot of times, a producer is like this middle person who then you're like, oh wait, why do I have to take your note because I want to just get to their note because that's the one that matters. And sometimes you'll have producers give you notes and then the studio gives you notes against theirs and it's a whole mess.
Well, you look at I think editors are really underrated.
Yeah.
Because I've watched the Apocalypse Now, the uncut one, and then you see the cut one and you're like, every cut made sense.
Yeah.
The editor took giant hunks out that were boring or didn't fit or I don't give a shit about. And it was like perfect, the fact that they chopped all that stuff out.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the dangerous thing about a director's cut because a lot of times it just has stuff that doesn't need to be in there. But sometimes that's the editor. Sometimes that is the studio having great notes. Sometimes it's a good producer. Or sometimes it's the director going like, okay, we got to do it. We have to boil this down. But that's why I do so many test screenings because that to me is, I don't kind of care what anybody anybody else's opinion is other than the audience. And so, I can argue with a producer or a studio all day, but like if I put it in front of an audience and they don't like some moment or they think some moment is hilarious that nobody else likes, I'm like, well, they win. Like, no, I don't care what anybody else's opinion
What's
is.
a really hard scene that you had to cut that you didn't want to cut in a film? There must be one that you're like, fuck, I love that scene and had to come out.
I had a dance number at the end of this movie that's coming out now that I just absolutely I just wanted to do a flash mob scene, and I love music. And we had a whole joke about it and everything. It was just kind of a fun way to end the movie, but it just I can't give anything away. It was just basically it was about two characters having some kind of a resolution, and by no fault of the actors, just because the audience liked this one character so much, they didn't want that resolution for these two characters. So, but I shot this all day, this huge dance number with all the cast and everything. So, but it'll be on the DVD.
Was it like
Is
Bollywood?
that what you do?
You kind of. It's kind of Bollywoodish. Yeah, I'm a big Bollywood.
I'll be honest. At the end of Slumdog
How
Millionaire,
great is that scene?
I got a little teary-eyed.
It's the greatest if you can pull it
Amazing.
off. Yeah.
Amazing.
In the train station.
Yes,
yeah.
Jai Ho.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
who didn't like that?
There's a couple. I mean, when I was in Syracuse and going to film classes and stuff, that was the exposure that I had to Bollywood movies. And there's actually some really good Bollywood stuff.
I mean, the dance numbers in the modern Bollywood movies, look at them. They are the best shot things you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
My wife is a Bollywood fanatic, and so that's all we do is watch those. The movies are a little long for my taste. They're like 3 hours long because everybody just wants to stay in the air conditioning over there. But
is that right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're just going to go and camp out all day. But I'm just blown away by some of those dance numbers.
I'm not a big dance. We only have a couple minutes left, too. I'm not a big dance number fan unless it really. That's why I don't like musicals, because they dance and sing too much.
Yeah.
Like a little dancing and singing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like an earned thing, exactly.
An earned thing. But when
There you
every
go.
line is dancing, like I'm one of the few people that didn't like Les Mis.
I loved it.
I know. He
Loved the
it.
play, loved the movie.
There
I'm
you
obsessed.
go. See,
Obsessed.
I do. I am kind of dying to do a musical, but I hear you, Jim. I mean, it's the hard thing to kind of hit the right tone where it's not. You don't want to put off people who don't like musicals, but you want to make people who like them happy. So.
When I feel like
Sam, ask a question.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Jim. I
I
appreciate
like to
that.
direct the show.
I believe this is well done.
I like to
Wow.
guide.
I think it was Bridesmaids that might have changed everything, but I did feel like for a while, coming off of Freaks and Geeks, and when Judd did like 40-Year-Old Virgin and some of the early stuff that he started to get really successful with in film, that you guys were kind of attached with everything, and that when you would be doing something, his name would come up and vice versa.
Yeah.
Did that get bothersome at any point?
No, I mean we were like brothers. We love each other, and we're so in sync creatively. But then there's stuff I want to do that he doesn't want to do, and vice versa. And so I learned so much from him, and I think I gave him a lot also. And then it was just kind of fun to go off on our own. But we always kind of support each other and stay in contact. But it's weird. Like you kind of start to go down different paths, and,
right?
And for me, I'm just so into like genres. Which that isn't necessarily his thing. He loves these really character-based, more personal things. And I like kind of taking a small personal story and then putting it into a genre and trying to play it big or play it for some other effect.
I'm very much looking forward to A Simple Favor.
Yeah, I would actually. I'm really going to see this.
Well, I got to say, I mean, Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively are so amazing in this movie. You're not going to believe it. Blake Lively, you've never seen her like this before because she plays kind of this villainous character. And then Anna Kendrick is, always wonderful. And then on top of it, we've got Henry Golding, the star of Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He's our leading man, and he's so spectacular and one of the nicest people you've ever met in your life.
That worked out well, though. Isn't that great when they do a hit right before your?
Yeah, that's
it's
awesome.
nice when that happens. I know. Trust me, you're always sitting there like, please don't let that movie bomb.
Well, A Simple